Hey Aries, how you doing? Elsie here with a bonus read. I hope you are well. My fire family, I hope you're good. Let's find out what's going on for you. Just thought I'd throw you some cards here just before we get on with the rest of the weeklies, the monthlies, all of that. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. You may find something here. It's a general read. Keep that in mind. And I'm usually reading for the future, but we'll see what happens. What is going on for Aries? Please tell me what Aries needs to know. We do have the Five of Wands. We have the Ten of Cups. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse, though. Very interesting. I'm just going to say from this, it feels like some sort of fight is coming to an end, my friend. It feels like rolling a stone uphill is what it feels like, a big boulder you've been rolling uphill. It's been taking a lot of energy, but you're pushing forward regardless of all of the indecision you have about this. It feels like whatever you're doing, there's competition, indecision. But I feel like the effort that you've put in, whatever you are pushing forward, regardless of the obstacles that come up, it feels very, very kind of badass energy. I'm just looking at Sagittarius, but also this energy that's holding you back. It almost feels like you've got more gumption, I'm going to say, more strength, more power than usual, because there's something here that I feel like you're no longer waiting for. It feels like the Ten of Cups is within reach for you, Aries, and you're no longer waiting for that. Feels like you have decided that I am not waiting for it to show up. I'm going to go out and find it. We've got the Five of Wands, the Ten of Cups, for those of you that are just listening. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Seven of Wands. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to say it almost feels like someone's watching you succeed. I'm just kind of looking at this from the point of view of this king who's on the Three of Wands upside down. It feels as though maybe you have put some space between you and someone else. It does feel like you put the space between you and someone else, or another group, or a job, or whatever it is that is the Ace of Pentacles. You've put space between you and something, because I feel like you're trying to pull back from the competition. I think that you're just sort of like, when they put blinders on a horse, it's because they want them to focus on what is right in front of them, and horses are easily spooked. Now, I don't think you're easily spooked, but I think you got the blinders on, which means you don't really care what's going on in your peripheral vision. Even though there could be competition for whatever it is you want, I feel like you are going to get the offer, or you are willing to put in time, effort, energy, or money. I'm going to say that this feels like something that is coming back around from the past, or it feels like you need to really think on your feet really quickly. I'm going to say that it feels like you're blocking everything out, blocking everyone else out. You don't care what they say, you don't care what they do. This is all about you and your happiness. And I do really feel like this place of, it feels very strenuous, I'm going to say, that you've been pushing towards some sort of a happy, joyous moment for a while. And it's almost like you've been on the boat for so long. We've been paddling, and all of a sudden I see it out in the distance, and I'm like, you guys can paddle if you want. I'm off the boat. That's what it feels like. I'm just going to go swim out to whatever it is that I need, or that I want, or that I've really been putting all of my energy into pushing forward towards. It feels like I'm going to say that what you've been pushing forward toward is your happiness, but I feel like you've had a lot of obstacles along the way, or you feel like there's been a lot of competition for whatever this thing is that you want. Tell me what the Ten of Cups is here, because you're about to get what you want. But I feel like this is the final push. This is the final leg of the race, and you got to dig deep, friend. We've got the Ace of Wands. We've got the Justice card. Look at this. This is the final push. I feel the Ace of Wands is the final push, because I feel like you've been at this for a while. It feels like probably 10 months to a year. It feels like you've been at this for a while, but the Ace of Wands tells me what's about to show up for you is this starting point again. It's like you get past the finish point and you go to the starting point. Justice card is here. Something here is being restored, and I think it is, yeah, it does feel like somebody who's digging deep at the end of a race or a really hard push. Something here is about to even up. I'm going to say something is about to be made right. Tell me more about justice. Temperance is here, because in this moment of alchemy, I feel like everything comes into harmony. So I'm going to say that you're going to be able to stop pushing soon. I feel like you don't really care what everyone else is doing. Tell me what this is that you are. It feels like I don't want to wait anymore. I'm just going to go get it because I see it in the distance here. What is this? We've got the 5 of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man. And we've got the Fool. There you are, jumping right off the boat into the water. So I feel like this is something that you thought would never come back around again, or that you'd never get a chance at it. It feels like with the 5 of Cups that it was a bit of regret. Maybe I've come all this way. I've traveled all these miles, and I'm about to regret everything that I've done up to here. So I'm going to take it into my own hands, and I'm going to go for it. The Fool is here, but the Hanged Man is here as well. This is a pause. This is, do I want to put any more energy into this? Should I just take a leap and go get it? I think that's what you're doing here. Look, I don't feel like you are doing anything that you don't have a lot of information about. The Hanged Man is telling me that you are willing to sacrifice anything you need to get to the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups doesn't have to be love, friends. The 10 of Cups is emotional happiness, joy. A lot of us in our lives don't get to experience joy. If you are the happiest you could ever be, good for you. But even those of you who are the happiest you could ever be have still not experienced joy. So I feel like you have, in this 5 of Cups here, you're like, am I going to start to regret, like, maybe I'm going to get to the last 5 miles and then I run out of gas? It feels like the Hanged Man is like, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling things off the boat. If the boat is what is holding me back, I'm going to start throwing things into the water. It feels like you're going to do whatever you need to do in order to get to the 10 of Cups. So the Hanged Man tells me that it's almost like partway through you get perspective. You're like, okay, wait a second, I got to rethink this. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to rethink it. If I have to start throwing shit off the boat so the boat goes faster, then that's what I'm going to do. And if that was the most Aries thing I ever said, I don't know what is. The Fool is here. Look, that you are somebody who I feel other people may have looked at as someone who had big dreams and no ambition. They would be wrong, I think, according to this reading anyway, but it does feel like you've grown up. I'm going to say that I'm looking at the Fool, and the Fool here, you can see the etched on the face, right? It's a series of lines, and this is what happens when we get to this place in life where we've got a lot of lessons. We know what to do, what not to do. It does feel like you have been thinking about this a lot, but you know, this particular Fool has the sign of air around its neck. I'm going to say that in the past, we've got the Fool here. Possibly people didn't take you seriously. You said, one day I'm going to do that. And they're like, yeah, sure, Aries, you go ahead and do that. But I feel like you've come to this place where you can almost touch it. You can almost touch it here. Let's talk about the 5 of Wands and the obstacles that have been in the way, because it almost feels like you've been swimming with some sort of anchor around your midsection, or something is trying to. Yeah, that's what it looks like. In my mind's eye, it looks like you've got weight around your midsection and you're trying to swim. We've got the 8 of Cups. You are dropping it. I feel like the thing that is holding you back or holding you down is emotional. So I feel like that's the next thing that goes off the boat, Aries. I feel like the next thing that goes off the boat is I detach from everything that I don't need. I don't care if it's food. I don't care if it's water. I don't care what it is. If it is weighing me down, then I am going to get rid of it, detach from it, and carry on. So I think that this indecision, like the feeling of maybe I won't make it. Maybe I've come all the way to here, spent all this energy, and maybe I won't get the thing that I want. I feel like you just start throwing things off the ship. We've got the Devil energy and the Empress. Very interesting energy here, because I feel like there is some sort of attachment to sovereignty, to doing it your own way, to not really caring what people say. Remember, I was talking about the blinders? This is what it feels like. It feels like everybody saw you spinning your wheels. They were trying to, maybe they saw you as having doubt in yourself, or maybe they doubted you, because the devil is something we do over and over, hoping we're going to get a different result, and we don't get that result. I feel like somewhere along the way you decided to detach from everybody who is talking in your ear, telling you couldn't do it, telling you there was no damn way that you were going to get what you want. Look, the Empress energy can be feminine or masculine, but I'm looking at the Empress energy as abundance, and I'm also looking at it as somebody who did it all alone. Nobody helped you. You did it all alone. You stopped listening to the naysayers. And I feel like you're going to now, in the last leg of this race, do whatever it is you have to do. Because what's at stake is the Ace of Wands, a brand new beginning that I think has got you charged up. And not only is it that, but I feel like you are possibly going to clear karma by doing this. And so I mean that, the karmic situation you were in could be that you were listening to the naysayers. You were listening to all the people who told you, look, nobody's ever done this. Why do you think you can do it? And I feel like you're letting go of a karmic situation, and you're about to even the scales and say, you want to see me do it? Yeah. Don't believe me? Just watch, right? Yeah, it's in a song, right? Don't believe me? Just watch. So Temperance is here, and I feel like this is the moment where everything comes together and you realize there was no need for you to worry about it, low lows. There was no need for you to worry about it, because whatever is meant for you will never pass you by. And high highs, I feel like you were oscillating between, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to do this. And I think it was the people around the outside that were in your ear telling you that you would never be abundant enough. You would never be sovereign enough. I feel like this could be a person for sure. Could be a person who's attached to the Ten of Cups. But it also could be you saying, you know what, I'm not even going to listen to it anymore. I'm going to detach from the devil energy, the naysayers. I'm going to throw off the boat, whatever I don't need, and then I'm going to paddle my ass off. Tell me about this Ace of Pentacles, because I think that's what's at risk here. I feel like you're looking like this little fox here, right? I feel like the fox is looking into the past, because I think that you're finally at the stage in your life, Aries, where you are looking back because you're noticing how far you've come. Not necessarily looking forward and saying, oh, I still have all this way to go. You're looking back saying, how much I have accomplished already. We've got the owl here, which tells me that this whole journey, whatever this journey is toward the Ten of Cups, has transformed you. It feels lucky, I would say, because I'm looking at there's a ladybug here. It feels like you feel lucky, but it's because of hard work. The squirrel is here. But I feel like because you decided to put all of your effort, time, energy, whatever it is, but because you decided to make the investment and put on the blinders and say, no, bro, I'm not listening to you. I'm just going to go full throttle. I'm going to go foot to the pedal to the metal. I think that's what this is. So tell me what you are investing in, because it feels like the Ten of Cups is the ultimate goal, but I also feel like you have to stop and plant a seed, or possibly you've already planted it and now you're going to see if anything has grown. We've got the Eight of Swords. Is that the Eight? Yeah, the Eight of Swords is in the reverse. The Strength card is here and the Nine of Swords is here. I'm going to say that this is the part of the race that is mental. You are now in the mental part of the race, because look, anyone who has ever accomplished a feat that no one said they would ever do, they understand that it's not that they were in the best shape. It's not that they had the best diet. It's not that they were putting on the blinders and not listening to the naysayers. What it was the mental game. And I feel like your mental game is sharp. I feel like you have decided, I'm going to decide that there are no boundaries. I'm going to decide that there's no place in my mind there where I'm going to get stuck. Is there a bit of a worry? I feel yes, but you are pulling back from that worry. It feels like the 8 and the 9 of Swords are being melted down in my mind's eye. I see somebody melting down the metals in the fire, and you are what would you call it? I would say you're melting it all down and reforming it, and it's all sort of infused into your courage. So I'm going to say that you are no longer listening to the naysayers. It feels like you're finally no longer overthinking the thing. It feels like there is a little bit of worry, but I also feel like you're going to push past it because you are holding back from it. I feel like you are finding the courage. You're digging deep to go get this thing. What are we talking about? Let's talk about the Ten of Cups. What is this Ten of Cups for Aries, please? The Death card. What is this? The Hermit. And the Sun. Wow, wow. I've just got head to toe chills here, Aries. What are you doing? It feels like a spiritual awakening has happened. Look, I feel like you've been on this journey for at least a year, at the absolute minimum. We've got this Ace of Pentacles here. But I think that whatever you've woken up to, have been made aware of, or you realize is something that is incredibly worth it, I would say, because the Ace of Pentacles is here. I feel like it's very worth it. It has a lot of value. And when the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands get together, it's really exciting, optimistic views here of what's going on. Look, the Hermit energy is here, and I feel as though there were times when you didn't think you could keep going because maybe you didn't have enough light or you weren't listening to your intuition. I feel that changed. Listening, like going into Hermit energy, if you've done it before, you know what I mean. And when I say Hermit energy, I mean Hermit energy. I don't mean one day here or there. I mean you're in it a year, you're in it for 2 years, possibly you just stopped being social. You're really very focused on the spiritual path. You're trying to find more light or more energy. I feel like you were doing this quite naturally. I don't think like you were sitting down and saying, Monday I will go into Hermit energy and Thursday, you know what I mean? I don't think you were doing that. I don't think you realized that you were actually there. So I feel like you've had some sort of realization while you were in Hermit energy, and that is you have transformed. And I think that this is you looking back and saying, holy crap, look how far I've come here. Now it's time to invest. And in investing in myself, investing in yourself is really important. But I also feel that now that you're out of your head and you're holding back from the worry, you're like, no, I'm not going to let the things people said to me, I'm not going to worry about not making it to the finish line. Because I think that the finish line is probably the least of your worries. I think that the finish line is it's like a personal goal. I'm going to say it's a personal goal that is going to make you have complete joy, and maybe other people around you don't understand. It's like somebody who values money is going to say that someone else who doesn't value money isn't someone who's successful. But someone who is focused on being a good parent is someone who feels successful being a parent. I feel that the people around you, Aries, don't understand that the goal that you have is just a goal they don't understand. I feel like your goal was the journey. I don't think it's necessarily the end, because I feel like the Sun being here with the Hermit and the Death card is telling me there's a massive awakening going on here. That the Ace of Pentacles is putting everything in so you can watch something grow. And it feels like you're putting all of your effort into that. I'm going to say you're reaching your goal, and it feels like you're reaching your goal quite soon. We've got the Four of Swords, got the Six of Swords. Look, that's 10 swords, friend. Now we get to let go of all of this. So I feel like, yeah, you're on your way. And I do feel that there have been sharp words. I feel that people would have said, yeah, there's no way you're going to do this. Mentally, you're not strong enough to get to the end. It's like people who have traveled and climbed mountains, Kilimanjaro and all of that. It's really a mental game. And I think at this point of the game, it is a mental game for you. It's not about your health. It's not about how much gas you have left in the tank. It's a mental game from here forward. Three of Swords. And I feel like the thing that you must do is release, right? We got 10 swords here, is release everything that was in the mind. It doesn't matter what they said. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. You need to release the Three of Swords, because I feel like everything in this reading is telling me that you are reaching your 10 of Cups. I don't know how far out your 10 of Cups is, friend, but I think for some of you, it's probably just around the corner. Don't gas out now. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about your health. I'm not talking about running a race. I'm talking about mental game. Don't gas out now. don't talk yourself out of it. It's time to let go of the Three of Swords and say, look, Ten of Swords is here. People said things to me that really bothered me, but I think you need to not focus on the Three Swords. I think this is like, I'm going to be really disappointed in myself if I don't get to where I'm going. But I think you're getting to where you're going. Look, I feel like I need to just pull the last 3 cards here. What's going on here? Page of Coins, 8 of Coins, and the Knight of Wands. Yep, looks like we're going to be celebrating soon. Look at that. We're going to be celebrating soon because of your bravery. It feels like, I'm going to say that the bravery part of it is that you chose to look inward with the 8 of Pentacles. You chose to look at yourself and figure out what was going on with you. You didn't blame the fact that you didn't get what you wanted yet on everybody else and what they said, and this one did that and this one did this. I feel like you just went inward and you saw the potential that something here could grow really, really quickly, because we got the bunny here. And I think that's what happened. I feel like you continued to work on yourself. You got super brave, and I feel like this tells me you're about to reach some sort of pinnacle of celebration. So congratulations, my friends. I'm going to leave this right here. I hope some of this made sense to you, and I'm really rooting for you. Release it, man. Release it. I'm telling you, you've already gone through the hardest parts of it. And look, the major arcanas that are here, the Sun, the Hermit, the Death card, you can't avoid those. Those are showing up. How, if you decide to receive it or not, is up to you. The Sun is going to show you everything that you've accomplished here. And I think you're going to be as shocked as everyone else. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I'm going to be back because I'm always back. And if you are back, then we'll do this again. Take care. Thanks, Aries. Bye-bye.